How well do you know yourself? Like really? We should be the ones that know ourselves the best, but we often find it's our loved ones that are telling us aspects of our personality we didn't even realize ourselves. Self-reflection is a huge part of personal development, and there are certain things you need to know about yourself. While there are so many things to learn about yourself, there are a few basic questions you can ask that will help you find out how much you know about yourself. Do you know any of these? If not, now might be the perfect time to start thinking about them and getting to know yourself a little bit. 1. What makes you happy? If somebody asked you the question, what makes you happy? How would you answer it? Do you know a list of things you can do to pull yourself out of a rut? Things you can do to brighten your day when you're not feeling spectacular? We often go through our days without actually consciously thinking about our happiness. We think happiness is this big end goal that we are always working our ways towards, but we fail to notice the moments in our days that make us happy. It may be something as simple as a walk, a fresh pot of tea, or escaping to your favorite cafe for coffee and cake while reading a magazine. Knowing what makes you happy is one of the most important things you should know about yourself and should reflect on regularly, as it often changes as we move through life. 2. What are your non-negotiables in relationships and friendships? Knowing your non-negotiables can save you a lot of time spent in relationships and friendships that you don't like and aren't serving a purpose in your life. Your non-negotiables are both positive, as in the things you must have in relationships, and deal breakers, as in the things that will make you run a mile. For example, you might have a high work ethic and value people who are hardworking and dedicated to their careers. If you start dating someone who keeps quitting their jobs and has more days at home watching Netflix, this may be a deal-breaking non-negotiable. Knowing your own values, what you want in a relationship, and the kinds of people you want to surround yourself with can help in working out your non-negotiables for relationships and friendships. 3. How to respond to stress. What's your go-to stress response? Do you hide under a blanket and escape with a book? Dive into a bucket of Ben and Jerry's escape to the beach for a day? Knowing how you respond to stress can help you both identify highly stressful situations, create healthier stress coping habits, and help you keep calm and cope better with stressful situations. While there are unhealthy ways to cope with stress, this is simply about knowing what your go-to response is. It's important to know, and when you understand it yourself, you can even discuss it with loved ones so they too understand how to deal with these situations. 4. Any medical conditions or issues. Some people don't know why they are on certain medications or even why they had certain surgeries or procedures. It's alarming, and to be perfectly honest, it's irresponsible. It's not up to your doctor to tell you everything you need to know. It's up to you to ask questions. Don't just nod and agree. Ask, why am I taking this? And what do you mean by that? It's also a good idea to start asking your family questions about medical histories. So many medical conditions being hereditary and often not showing up until later in life, it's important to know what you might be more susceptible to, and therefore what you can work on to avoid heading down the same path. 5. What kind of person you want to be. Is the kind of person you are now the same as the kind of person you want to be? Who do you aspire to be more like? And what are you doing to make it happen? 6. Your personality type. Knowing your personality type is kind of like having permission to be who you are unapologetically. For example, my ability to make a decision is part of my personality. Knowing your personality type can give you a much deeper understanding of who you are and why you are the way you are. 7. Your strengths and what you are good at. Keeping in line with knowing your personality, it's also important to know what you are good at. These are things you should be proud of and excited to say that you are good at. For example, writing, reading, singing, or maybe bringing people together. These are skills you can put in use at any project. What skills do you have? What are your strengths? Own them and be proud of them. 8. Your weaknesses and what you're not so good at. Have you ever been to a job interview and they ask you, so what are your weaknesses? And the standard response is, my weakness is that I work too hard. You need to know your legitimate weaknesses. It will give you so much relief when you can accept that you're just not so good at something and you don't have to be good at everything. This is a lesson to learn because it's okay to have weaknesses. 9. Your goals. Where do you see yourself in a few years' time? Do you think about what you're working towards? Your goals aren't just for your immediate future, and they aren't just for your long-range outlook. They all need to work together in order to actually achieve anything. For example, your goal might be to buy a house by the time you're 30 years old. But if that's where you leave it, then you significantly decrease your chances of achieving it. Whereas if you add in a goal to have any sum of money saved each week, and to do that you need to work overtime or get a kind of job or even a mini goal of just sticking to your budget for a week or a month. These are all goals that work together to help you achieve a larger goal. Things happen step by step.